Everybody tells you confidence comes after experience. Well, that's backwards. Confidence gets you the experience. And if you sit around waiting for it to show up, you'll wait your whole career. Now, today, my daughter and I will break down how you build it before you've earned a single line on your resume. So, hello, Kiana. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
All right. Today, we're going to talk about self-confidence, right? How you build it, how you keep it, where does it come from? And normally I'll start, but today, guess who's going to start? You're going to start.
Me?
Yes. So let's talk about self-talk.
Okay.
So tell me about self-talk and how does that play into your confidence?
Self-talk is probably one of the biggest factors into confidence for me, at least. I know we talked about in the last podcast sports and being an athlete and what goes into that. And I think when you step on and off the court, it's really important to make sure that you are talking to yourself positively all the time, because once you start getting into that mindset of, I suck, like I just missed whatever, like I messed up, made a mistake. It's very important to try and keep up your positivity and making sure that you're talking to yourself with good intentions and not just stating the obvious, basically. Because it's like, okay, yeah, everybody saw you mess up, but everybody most likely saw you make those 10 good passes or saw you make 10 shots in a row, whatever, like at the end of the day, the good is what's going to matter in the end, not the bad all the time. So self-talk is very important. Getting your mindset right every day and making sure that positive self-talk in the morning or whenever or day to day is super important, because if not, you're just going to, go through your day maybe feeling a little down about yourself or insecure, or which is perfectly normal, but you just don't want to feel like that all the time, because then you won't go into a room with your best confidence. You're going to go into a room like feeling small or trying to make yourself small, when that's not what we need to do.
Right. And you're speaking for yourself right now. I get that. But what do you think Gen Z in general, how do you think they feel about self-talk? Or have you spoken to some of your friends or, some other Gen Zers that, what do they say about self-talk?
I think for me, like talking to my friends, we've all played a sport. So again, that I think is the main avenue that everybody hears self-talk, their coach, their mentor, whatever. But I think on a day-to-day, it's not talked about a lot. I mean, it's, confidence is one of those things where people just think, oh, well, they just have it. Almost like, like a car. Oh, well, they just have it. Well, no. Confidence has been built up over time. And unfortunately, especially in my generation, self-talk is not as common as it should be. Just because, the amount of media and content that we filter through day to day and comparing ourselves probably to different influencers or different friends or people or whatever, it's very, very important to make sure that your self-talk is at a 10 all the time. Because if you're just constantly going through that content and through that media, and then at the end of the day comparing yourself to those people, it really it shoots down your self-worth or your confidence at the end of the day, which is not good. So
No, I get it. I definitely get it. Well, for us, for Gen X, and what I'm just going to speak to, just being an adult for a long time. And for me, there's a saying, choose voices that build, silence voices that erode. That means you're going to have a lot of voices, just like you said, coming from different places all the time. And what you want to do is listen to those positive voices and shut out those negative voices. Now, I know I say that like it's easy, but I know it's not easy. But if you think about it on a regular basis and you say, okay, wait a minute, that's a negative. Let me push that away. And yes, sometimes it could be a family member that's speaking negative that you might have to say, man, you know what? You can try to just tell them, hey, you know what? I'm just really not trying to listen to that right now.
yeah.
And see if that works. But you definitely want to get in a positive environment.
Yeah.
Because half the voices in your head aren't even yours. They're voices that you've heard from somebody else.
Yeah.
And you definitely want to push those out. You want to keep talking to yourself positively and then move forward. And you talked about comparison earlier as well. Well, I have a saying, you only compare yourself to the person you were 1 year, 2 year, 5 years ago. That's who I compare myself to. If I'm better than I was 5 years ago, I win, regardless of what everybody else is doing. That's the way it works for me.
Yeah.
So if you just think about that, and hopefully that helps someone who's watching this, because I know negative thoughts can really bring you down. So next, we'll talk about proof and borrowing preparation, right? Being prepared.
Right.
So let's talk about being prepared. What do you got to say about, because we're talking about confidence and being prepared. So how do you reconcile those two?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is the good old saying, stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
Stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
Like, I mean, it's
Stole my line.
sorry, tales old as time. I mean, T.I. said it. Like,
I'm older than T.I.
Oh, okay, whatever. But I'm just saying, there's celebrities that say, this is something I live by. So,
Correct.
and they're pretty successful and everything. But I mean, again, that's the first thing that comes to my mind as just a person that I may not be in the public eye like a celebrity, but when you walk into a room, people are going to glance over, look at you, and if you're kind of making yourself small or, trying to hide away, like people notice that straight away. And I think that it diminishes your walk into that room, or diminishes almost like your spirit into that room, whether you could walk into that room confident, knowing that, like, I know my stuff, I know, like, I know who I am, I know what I stand for, like all of those good things that you should know about yourself. And I feel like that alone gives you the confidence to do that. So if you just prepare almost like your pitch, if you think about it, like how you would go into a boardroom for a business and say, hey, this is my product. Like, and this, if it's your product, of course, you're going to be proud of it. Of course, you're going to be confident talking about it because you care about it. So I would say view that the same way you view yourself. Don't view yourself as just like another human being on the earth. Like, you're you. Take that as the confidence that you always thought or take that as the confidence that you need day to day, because I think that will change your mindset from that negative mindset to that positive mindset, instead of just, sitting there thinking about all these negative thoughts and letting that seep in. Like, take that out, use that positive mindset to really just take over your mind and your speech too, because then people can hear it when you talk and they're like, wow, like that person is very kind, confident. It feels like not so much that they're perfect, but just, that they aren't really going to make too many mistakes because, they carry themselves that way. And if they do, then it's, hey, I made a mistake. Like, let's move on. Like, they're not going to be dwelling on that all the time.
Right. For me, the thing I want to say is you should borrow proof from preparation, because you can't fake confidence. Because a lot of people think that they can just fake it. They can just act their way into confidence. Well, you can try it, but it doesn't work.
Right.
Because sooner or later, there's going to be questions that are asked. And when you're asked those questions, you won't be able to respond because you were acting confident, but you haven't prepared to be confident.
Right.
There's another thing that I say all the time: prepare before you're promoted. And I was talking to someone the other day, and they were talking about, man, Chris, you've been promoted a lot. And I said, well, yeah, everybody sees that. Everybody sees the promotions, but what they don't see is the, 6 to 8 years straight going to school.
Yeah.
After my bachelor's degree. No one sees that.
Right.
No one sees me being in senior staff meetings listening for 6, 8 years, before getting my shot. So being prepared to me is one of the most important things that you can do. My father always said it best, and you started off with this. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Right.
And the work you do in the dark will show up in the light.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'm gonna say about that, I was looking at ESPN today, and the guy on the New York Knicks, Brunson, who won the championship, and he was the MVP.
What I tell y'all.
They played all the clips from people saying that he wasn't gonna do anything, right?
Yeah.
And it was Dirk Nowitzki, and they brought a clip back where he was talking about, wait a minute, this guy's work ethic, you guys aren't seeing it because he
Right.
played for Dallas first. And he said, this guy's work ethic is beyond what I've seen.
Yeah.
And he said, sooner or later, it's going to pop. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
So he watched him back when he was a rookie,
Right.
back when he was the 33rd pick. And he was like the person behind the point guard. He was like the
Exactly.
second or third string, getting in when he could.
Right.
And he did that for a few years for Dallas. Someone got hurt,
Yep.
and he scored 40 points in a playoff game. So when we talk about prepare before you're promoted, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Being prepared for that. So next, let's talk about small wins,
Okay.
right? Let's talk about getting some wins under your belt. What do you think about confidence and getting some small wins or doing something positive and seeing how it comes out? How does that play a role in confidence?
I think, like, when I think of small wins, I think of things that I have a skill, right? Like, let's say I'm great at, I don't know, pottery. Okay. This is my hobby. This is what I do on the weekends or whatever. And this one thing I can, I give I give my creations to people on their birthday or celebrations, whatever, as gifts, whatever. And then you kind of think about it and you're like, hey, like I can make a mini business out of this, and it doesn't have to be this multi-million-dollar company, but I can sell, a couple of these a month on Etsy or on Amazon or on wherever. And, I view that as like a small win. Like I have a full-time job, but on the side, I get to do something that I love and I get a little extra money in my pocket. Right. So I think, and when you're in that, or when you have that skill, that will give you the confidence to say, hey, people like my stuff. Like, I am good at pottery. I am good at, creating things, being creative. And I think that is always important. I mean, it could either be creating something like that, or you're good at organizing and you can organize a whole event or organize a whole, a whole wedding. Who knows? Like it's, you can use your day-to-day skills that you wouldn't think, or you think are just normal day-to-day things, but in reality, they could do so much, right? And so I think those small wins, it definitely helps you get confidence in yourself and remind you that, hey, like you can do anything you set your mind to. It's, as long as you put in the work, like we're talking about work ethic, like you put in the work for it, hey, it can be a small win for you. Like it doesn't have to be this huge thing blows up on social media and on the news and whatever. Like it can be the smallest thing ever. Like I said, organize a whole event for, somebody who couldn't afford an event planner or whatever. And it turns out amazing. Like it doesn't have to be a huge deal. It can be the smallest thing that you can do for your community or for your family or for whatever.
No, that's good. I'm big on small wins. Getting up in the morning, going to the gym, the mornings that I do it, which is every morning, it's a win. And that feeling of I've accomplished something
Right.
is a big deal. Confidence isn't a feeling you find, it's an account you build.
Yeah.
And what that means is these small wins add up. So like we were talking about Jalen Brunson earlier, him going in the gym night after night, day after day, just practicing, not getting that much playing time.
Yeah.
Over time, now his skills are being built.
Right.
And That's the way I look at it. You have to do those things in the dark that no one sees, right? Do those things in the mornings when no one sees you working. Do those things when you're in school, like you got straight A's through high school,
Yeah.
right? You do those things like that, and it just makes everything else easier when you get these small wins. Now, I'm not saying the straight A's were a small win, but what I am saying is once you get into the workforce, no one cares about your A's.
Right. Exactly.
They want you to show what you can do.
Yeah, produce.
And then when you produce, they're thinking, wow, this person is incredible. They don't see that, no, I've put in work in other places.
Yeah.
So I understand how to do an event. I've done a few events.
Right.
I understand how to coach some people.
Yeah.
Because I've coached people before.
Yeah.
So when you start showing these skills, they don't come out of nowhere. They come out of work. And there's another saying, stop waiting for the breakthrough. Stack the little wins on purpose. And one day you look up and realize you're the person you were trying to become.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying earlier about becoming that person that has that confidence naturally.
Right.
Because you have a little bit of confidence.
Yes.
You know?
I do, but I do owe that to you guys at the end of the day, because you guys were those role models for me or that were saying, hey, you can do this. If you want to do this, okay. You know, like there wasn't any you wouldn't put restrictions on me at all for anything that I wanted to do or said that I wanted to do. And I think, you know, that really plays a huge difference when you have that type of support. And I mean, listening to that for 18, 19, 20 years now, like, I mean, it's never, I haven't gone a day without, you know, you guys congratulating me, saying you're proud of me, or, you know, or even just supporting, like, hey, if this is the decision you want to make, great. Like, you know, you have to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to do it for you. Like, you know, if you want to do that, cool. You know, I'm just going to be, if you need help, I guess, you know, some advice, but you guys were always supportive for me. So for me, I'm like, well, I don't see a reason I can't do that, you know? So that definitely helps for sure.
Yeah, for me, same thing. It was my parents. My parents, they definitely were the type of parents that said, what was that saying my dad had? If you think you can, oh, you can do it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If you think you can't, you won't.
Yeah.
So he would always burn that in my brain that, listen, once you put your mind to something, just move in that direction.
Right.
See what happens. You might course correct later, but that doesn't matter because you've tried to go in that direction. So you at least know either how long it's going to take to get there.
Right.
Because it might take you a little bit longer. Or if you even want to go in that direction.
Right.
So making that decision to, okay, I'm going to try this, you have to have that confidence to do it.
Right.
And here's the thing. If it doesn't happen, it's not a failure. That's the thing that that's what stops most people. It's not their upbringing. It's not anything like that. It's the fact that, hey, it hurts so bad because I didn't accomplish this one thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, because here's what you did. You either win or you learn.
Right.
There is no losing when you're trying to accomplish something.
Correct.
So that part is, yes, that's something that your mom and I, we try to do our best to say, hey, if you want to try something, try it, do it. But here's the thing, if you remember this, it wasn't a lot of help doing it.
No. There was definitely some learning happening.
That's right. That's right. So I like the way we talked about that. So if you could ask me any question about confidence, you know, what question would you ask me about confidence and building it or anything like that?
I mean, we've talked about building. We've talked about, you know, maybe starting somewhere where you can start to have some confidence. But what about maintaining it? Because I feel like that's where people, I wouldn't say go wrong, but I feel like, you know, they might start off on a great track and then, like you said, like one thing kind of falls out of place, and then it kind of blows up. Like you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, you know, so how do you maintain your confidence on a day to day?
Okay, that's an excellent question that I was not prepared for.
Guys, I got him.
Anyway, so basically, how do you keep the discipline going?
Correct. Yes.
You know, because it starts with that. It starts with discipline. It starts with being able to make yourself do something.
Right.
Right. And it's, for me, it's I have to call it. I used to think everybody just had this. They would just do something if they wanted to. They wouldn't do it if they didn't. But over the years, I found out that it's, in my opinion, that no, it's a gift. Having discipline the way I have it is it's almost like a gift from God.
Yeah.
Because I don't think about it. It's like once I want to do something, I just go in that direction.
Right.
And I'll tell myself, I'm going to go in this direction for 6 weeks or 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to turn around, I'm going to look at the data and see where I'm at.
Yeah. Very technical person. Very technical.
Right. So for me, I don't think about discipline. I don't think about, hey, how do I maintain this? Because there is no maintain.
Right.
There's a set goal and I'm going in the direction. Period.
Yeah.
You know? So that's one thing that I would definitely talk about if someone says, hey, I'm having a challenge, continue. And I'm having a challenge not staying on track.
Yeah.
Another thing is a coach.
Yeah.
A coach or a mentor in your life.
Yeah. Accountability partner.
Exactly. Between discipline and an accountability partner, those two things, if those two things don't have you on a good path.
Yeah.
On a constant path, because your question was, how do you keep going day in, day out? Well, that's how, right? If you have a mentor, a coach, accountability partner, someone like that to say, hey, you said this is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Right? That, especially someone you look up to, or someone who maybe is even a peer that's doing the same thing you're doing, and they're there every day.
Right.
Right? It's a perfect example. My workout partners and I, right?
This is a great story. I'm just going to let you guys know.
You know, we'll call each other in the morning. So we're texting each other at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hey, you going?
Right. And then it's just crickets for like 5 minutes.
And then it's like, yeah, I'm going. You going? Yeah, I'm going. You know, because you know that if you don't go that next day, somebody done won any games. Someone's just playing around. You know, there's a whole group of us in the gym in the morning, and man, when you miss a day, it's almost like being at work. Yeah. They want to know, hey, what's going on? What happened? What happened? When we go out of town, it's funny. It's probably 8 of us total, but 2 we work out in different little teams or whatever. And man, when you go, like all of us travel for our jobs or whatever. Yeah. So when you have to be out of town, you let everybody know. Hey, I'll be out of town
from this day to this day. Yeah. Okay, I come back on this.
Right, because if you don't, who's that guy? Who's the new guy? That's the first thing you hear when you get in there. Who's the new guy?
He looks pretty small, y'all. I don't know. Yeah. He looks pretty new to the game.
Right. You know, so you want to avoid that. So that's what the accountability partner brings, and that's what I do, or those are the things that I think can keep you accountable and keep you on track for some of the goals that you've had.
Yeah, which is good. It's good.
Now let me ask you a question.
Okay, I'm scared.
So, over these past 20 years,
19, but
right. Yeah, you're close enough. So what goals have you set that required you to have discipline and required you to stick to it? Have you accomplished? And just give me 1 or 2. Okay. That you think were the toughest to accomplish.
The toughest, I think. Okay, I wasn't prepared for that question. Okay, I will say my high school diploma only because there was 2 goals in that time frame, I guess. So when I was 6 years old, listen here and listen good. When I was 6 years old, My father, this man sitting across from me, told me if I get straight A's all through high school, he would buy me a car. Now, listen, I remembered that, okay? And I never let him forget it, ever. I said, hey, this is the deal. If this happens, I will be able to get a car. That is the deal, set in stone. So then high school rolls around. You know, it's freshman year, it's COVID too. So then I was like, oh, perfect. Online school, amazing. Zoom through this. Like, this was easy. Literally, Zoom. That's a bar.
Bar.
Okay.
Bars.
So freshman year, sophomore year, it was great. You know, and then junior year rolls around. It's like, hey, your counselor's coming to you. Hey, so you got college too. Like, have you thought about college? I'm like, college? No, I just need to get my car. That's why I'm here. I'm here to get my car and go. Okay, get my diploma and go. Like, that was the plan. So I think getting all those straight A's, the first 2 years, it wasn't too bad. But again, when we started looking at colleges and, you know, I was looking at all the requirements that I needed to have in order to get to college. That was, yes, the straight A's made it easier, but I was also looking at the things that I was doing in high school right then and there and saying, okay, does this help me for this major or for, you know, colleges to look at me or put me in a different pile, right? Because that's the goal, is colleges or that decision time for those counselors is saying, you know, how can I fit in a different pile than everybody else? So, and I mean, from Hawaii, I was in I think six or seven different clubs. Thank you. And, and I was also, you know, an athlete, so I was playing sports as well, and I had a part-time job. So it was a lot of different things that helped my college resume in order to, you know, get to where I am today. So those two goals, it was, well, I guess 3 now. Get my car, number 1, always number 1. Then graduate high school, then get to college. So I think in the moment it was the toughest because I had to think about all those 3 things at the same time. And that was pretty, you know, hard.
Yeah, the car thing was, the weird thing about that was...
Weird? No, it was perfect.
When we said, okay, well, it's time to go looking for your car. Mm-hmm. And you were like, okay, so we're going from car. And she wasn't really excited. And I was like, what? If this were me, I would be like doing a cartwheel. I would, man, I'd be jumping up and down. And so we're going and then we find, you know, the car and go through with the little dealership and they put the little bow on top of it and drive it around. And we stood outside of it in front of the car. We took a photo and, you know, and then about 2 weeks later, I don't know if you remember this. I'm like, Kiana, what? I said, you didn't seem like you were that excited about, because I would have been excited because it was a new car.
It was, yeah.
And I said, you didn't seem that excited. And you said, well, I didn't think this was real. I didn't think you guys were actually going to do it.
I mean,
like, when have I not done something? If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. If I say I'm not going to do something, I won't do it.
Everybody, not even just me. Everybody's going to know he's not going to do it.
Right. So that was that story about the car, that one. Okay. Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
And yes, you did work hard to get your grades to the point where, you know, it was warranted.
Yes. And thank you. It was definitely, I was excited, but at the same time, it's hard when your dad tells you, again, at 6 years old, there's 6 years old is a real, you know, that's like a stepping stone for me, I think. At 6 years old, he's talking about, you know, 90% on the inside, 10% on the outside. Now, listen, I will explain it in the shortest explanation I can. Your emotion, okay, day to day, you wouldn't be doing cartwheels every single day if, you know, like, let's say you just got paid. Oh, I'm gonna do a cartwheel. I'm gonna jump up and down. I'm gonna, you know, whatever. You know, you wouldn't do that. You'd be like, oh, cool. I got paid, right? Mm-hmm. So that motto has been in my life since I could understand what it means. And 90% on the inside is, you know, keep 90% of your emotions on the inside. And you get to show that 10%, oh, cool. You know, I got a car. you know? Like almost, and the Gen Zers, if that's what you want to call us, whatever, they're going to get this. It's being nonchalant. You know, and actually you've been voted the king of nonchalantness from my friends because, yes, because I mean, it's every phone call. An example, I had called you about an internship that I had got, or I think it was for the UNLV internship. And you were like, cool. So, you know, like, do you get paid? And I was like, oh, you know, it's just volunteer, but you know, it's experience. Like, that's how I'm getting paid. And you were like, cool. And my friends were like, that's all he's going to say. I'm like, that's all I get. I mean, every time. That's all I get. It's either cool or, okay, so what do I have to pay for? I'm like, yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. So.
Yes. 90% on the inside, 10% on the outside. Mm-hmm. So let me explain that. So, because my daughter, she always makes it sound like, you know, it's just this tragic thing that happened. But
it's not. That's my explanation.
What that means is it basically you train yourself so that you're on an even keel. Because here's the thing. Let's say if every time something happens, you get super excited and you're just over the top, right? For the good things. Here's the flip side. When something bad happens, you're going to lay down on the floor and put the covers over your head and lay there for 6 days, right? So my thing is, and anyway, in most circumstances, you want to keep your emotions on the inside. I've been in a corporate environment for, I don't know, I retired, 20 years ago. I retired from the Air Force.
Right.
So when you're in the corporate world, you have to temper your emotions. And here's the thing, not just the corporate world.
Yeah.
I believe in adult life in itself, for the most part, even if you own your own company, you can't just be this over the top person that's just, and you can't be that person that's just sitting there quiet. You know, you have to temper your emotions. So that's where that 90-10 comes from. You know, no, it's not 50-50. And I know there's going to be people out there saying, what about 50-50? What about 60-40? Well, you can pick your own percentage. Yeah. The bottom line is you want to try to keep as even as you can because you don't want to, it's almost like you're avoiding that low.
Right.
Right. So that's where that comes from, Miss Kiana.
Oh, okay. And, I think my explanation was the same thing, but whatever. We can move on.
Yeah, but I had to make it sound better than listen to what my dad said at 6 years old.
Well, it's the truth. Am I not going to come on here and speak the truth?
Yeah, you're going to speak the truth. So we've talked about confidence, and we've talked about some of the goals that you had. We've talked about how you built your confidence. We've talked about how I built mine, and that environment being very important in confidence. So I'm hoping that this video helps someone out there, our conversation. Yeah. I think a Gen X talking to a Gen Z is the perfect, because it's just long enough to be like, yeah, that dude is way older than her. And so we're definitely not close to the same generation.
Right.
And for us to have a conversation, I think that helps. And it'll help not only the Gen Zers with some wisdom. Yeah. But it'll help my generation understand the Gen Zers. Yeah. Because that's what this is all about. It's this podcast this time, it's about a Gen Zer talking to a Gen X and having a intelligent conversation about different things. Yeah. So I think that's going to be a wrap on this.
It's a wrap.
This podcast. Yeah. So you got any last words?
I'm gonna, to all the haters out there, the Knicks haters, I said Knicks in 5. We did it in 5. That's all I wanted to say. Jalen Brunson, he's in the GOAT conversation. What? I'm just kidding. That's a joke. It's a joke. Calm down. Calm. I just wanted a little reaction. That's all. But I said it, Knicks in 5, and they did it in 5. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, my name is Christopher Houston. This is Kiana Houston. Thank you very much. Good night. God bless.
Peace out.